The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and insert a table of contents. A table of contents is usually found right after the cover page or after the introduction to the document. So I'm going to go over to Employee Handbook here on the second page, and I'm actually going to delete that property title because I don't need it, and delete the blank paragraph that exists there. I want to push Corporate Profile to the next page. I don't need a page break or a section break that breaks it into sections. I just want a page break. So the keyboard shortcut for page breaks, if you don't remember, is Control Enter, or you can go to the Insert tab and insert one. We're then going to click before the page break, and we're going to insert a table of contents. Before we insert the table of contents, I want to remind you of what we've already done. So I want you to hit Control F on your keyboard. Control F on your keyboard will open up the navigation pane, which usually we use to find specific words inside of our document. We can also find pages, and we can see headings. And if you click on the Headings tab, you'll actually see that all the headings you've created previously are here, and they're stacked. So heading 1s are all the way out to the left, and heading 2s are indented inward because they're subheadings within this heading 1 section. What's great about headings is that, one, you can click on these and pop to them in the document. So I can click on different headings and it'll pop me directly to there and put my cursor there. It will also apply the styles, and they are able to change automatically as a group. So if I change something on the heading 1, it'll change on all the heading 1s. But what's also great about the heading styles is that your document is now keeping track of those headings. It's keeping track of where they're located, what page they're on, and it's created tiny little bookmarks that pop you to them. But what it's also done is allowed Word to keep track of them so that we can make a table of contents. So going back up to the top of the document and clicking on that blank page that we created, I want you to think about how you would create a table of contents right now. You would probably put table of contents, hit enter, and you'd first put the corporate profile because that's the first thing in our document, right? So corporate profile. And then you would probably want to try and get over to the left side or the right side of the page. So most people at this point, I'm going to hit enter and put that page breakdown. Most people at this point would hit tab until they can get over here, and they would type 1. And then they might have issues like not being able to get it to align to the right margin, and so on and so forth. Then you would go ahead and go to the next page or the next line, and you'd put Tolano Environmental Consulting. That's on page 2. So we tab over and type a 2. And let's say we made a change, like Tolano Environmental Consulting is now on page 3. You'd have to come back and edit all of those. Plus, you can't make sure everything's in line, and that's a lot of work. Instead, what we can do is make Word do it for us. So I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this except for the page break, and I'm going to get ready to insert a table of contents. So I want you to pause the video here and see if you can find table of contents on your own. Table of contents is on the References tab. It's on the References tab because it's a reference that the reader can look at to refer to and see where things are in the document. References tab is pretty much everything for the reader. The table of contents is something the reader looks to navigate through the document. Footnotes is what the reader looks to get more information. Citations and bibliography is where they look to see what your sources were. Captions is more information about tables, graphs, pictures, figures, all those kinds of things. An index is to be able to navigate through the document by finding keywords. And a table of authorities is being able to see where all of your different marked citations are. These are all things that the reader is going to use. So what we're going to do is insert a table of contents. As you can see, this is different than a table. So we're not going to the Insert tab, we're coming to References. Going to Table of Contents here, there are 3 types of tables that you can pick from. You can also go to More Tables if there's some online, or create a custom table of contents. We're just going to pick Automatic Table number 1. When you click that, it's kind of crazy, but you've just generated a whole page worth of table of contents with page numbers automatically. Now, you may be wondering, okay, this is saying it's on page 7. I'm not understanding why it's on page 7 when this is clearly page 3 of my document. So we're going to go in and figure out what's going on. But what's cool about it is that it's pretty much figured out a lot of the information of your document, including page numbering. It's created this beautiful dots. It's aligned all of the numbers, and it's put all of your headings in here indented if they are a secondary heading. That's pretty slick. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to edit these page numbers because they are wonky, but that's going to be controlled by your page numbering. If you wanted to make changes, we'll come in here and learn how to update the table after we've made changes later.